This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English, episode number 344, baby. Oh yeah. In today's episode, I speak to Clarification Charlie. Yes, she is back, and we play a game of Have You Ever? Okay, details of the game will be revealed in the podcast. Just a quick one. If you have not listened to the previous episode, which I released on Wednesday last week, I believe, I spoke about something big I am doing for my 40th birthday. Okay, so if you haven't listened, go back and listen to that because I basically can't be bothered to talk about it again. Really good at this, aren't I? So just make sure you go back and listen to that episode. It's about 1 minute long, okay? So make sure you do that if you haven't already. Enjoy the episode and I will talk to you at the end. Happy listening. Clarification Charlie, how are you today?
I am very well, thank you, Martin. How are you?
I will lie as well and say always fantastic because we've just spent the last 45 minutes-ish moaning and saying how we're just about surviving in life, but I will go along with it and lie as well and say I'm fantastic. So yes, very happy to hear you are fantastic. This is such a fake hello. I always say it's the weird thing, the second hello, because we've done that, and then it's I'm so good. It's never better.
Well, it is good to be back anyway. It's been a while. Okay. Hello, I'm back.
You are back, and great to have you back. So, like you said, it has been a while, but do you remember how we start the show?
Always with a review.
Oh yeah, do you think we have one?
I really hope you saved one for me.
I have an absolute beauty for you today.
Oh.
Saved it. Well, I wouldn't say I saved it for you. Well, in fact, yeah, let's say that I saved it for you. Or someone emailed me this week and said, I've left you a review. Here it is. Okay. One of those. You choose which one you want to believe. Okay.
Sure.
So this is from Renata, 5 stars, iTunes, the ones we love the most. And it says, I wish I'd found this podcast years ago. It's totally addictive and fun. I absolutely don't have to force myself to listen to another episode. It doesn't feel like studying at all, but it's super useful. It's what I was looking for. Martin and his friends are hilarious, so you can pick up new vocabulary and grammar while you're having a great time. Highly recommended. How about that?
That is an absolute beauty. Thank you, Renata. Thank you,
Renata. Indeed, that is exactly what we love. Brilliant 5-star review, iTunes. Emailed me as well so that I didn't miss it. So a lesson for all other listeners. Okay, that is how to leave a review. So on to today's pod. Okay, I thought I would do something fun because, as we mentioned, life is difficult for Clarification Charlie and I these days. 2 kids, full-time job, all of that kind of stuff. So I thought I'd do something fun. Also because today, as I mentioned to you, Clarification Charlie, I'm in the process of buying a house at the moment. I spoke to a mortgage insurance guy. Do you need to get some kind of insurance? I don't know. And the conversation was basically like this, saying like, so this insurance will cover you if you have a heart attack, if you get cancer, if you die, if you lose a leg. And I was thinking, today we were recording this on a Friday. I had a bit of a Friday feeling, but when you're talking to someone about these things, you're kind of thinking, it's bringing me down just a little bit. Talking about all of this.
Sure.
So he's like, so if you do get cancer, okay, good.
Fine.
He also said apparently 1 and 2 get it now. Okay.
Oh, nice. Thanks. Cool. Thanks for that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Although one thing, when he said like, so if you do die, I was like, okay, brilliant. He said basically like your wife and children will get like, I don't know, £300,000. And I was thinking, bloody hell, like that sounds like a good deal.
Yeah,
like,
sure. Why not?
Am I worth 300,000? I'm not sure.
Probably worth more, aren't you, Martin? Worth more.
I don't know. Part of me thought I would take that. Give me 300 grand and take my life. But yeah, no, didn't decide to do that. But so yeah, we are doing something fun, which is playing Have You Ever, which as you mentioned in the messages we exchanged, is quite a famous drinking game.
It is a famous drinking game. It is. Yes.
I must admit, I was never really into the drinking games. I saw it as organised fun, which I've never been a fan of. I like to go free, just drink when I want, just free fun.
You're such a renegade, aren't you? You're
that is me.
Absolutely maverick. There he goes.
Yeah. Also, because sort of drinking games, you have to maybe drink quickly, and that would probably end up with me vomiting everywhere. So I tried to steer clear of the games. But so the drinking game is like, have you ever? I believe, and then if you have, you drink. Yeah, yes. Is that right?
Yeah, you do. And then when you drink, I don't know if it has to be just you, or if you drink, you have to sort of tell your story. So, but quite often people ask questions that they know will get their friend into trouble. So I used to do it all the time to one of my housemates.
Like, have you ever drunk so much you had to go to hospital?
Sure.
And then you would be drinking.
I would be drinking.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then I believe it all gets a bit sexual, doesn't it, when you do this?
Quite.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, there's nothing sexual today. Okay. This is PG.
Relief.
Okay?
Relief.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nothing sexual. A bit more of the rock and roll English vibe of like embarrassing, awkward stuff. Okay.
Sure. I can cope with that. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, first one, called someone the wrong name. So, have you ever, obviously, called someone the wrong name for an embarrassingly long amount of time?
See, this is one actually that I haven't done.
Wouldn't be drinking then.
Yes, I actually wouldn't be drinking. I think I probably have called someone the wrong name, like in passing, but I'm usually, because I'm quite a people person, I do quite like to just check, and just
what's your name again?
Sure.
Because that's the embarrassing thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
I know.
you can't really say to someone after you've been talking to them for like a couple of hours, what is your name again?
Yeah,
so I just avoid using names is my thing to do. But it has happened to me so many times because like people that are close to me will call me Mart, but obviously everyone that I know from like Essex says Mart like that.
Mark.
And then other people hear that and think my name is Mark.
Yes, of course they do.
And even now, so I play football on a Tuesday, and it's like one close friend plays. He calls me Mark, and then everyone else calls me Mark.
Classic.
And it's too embarrassing to say now, my name's not Mark, it's Mark.
I've played football long enough.
So I'm just known as Mark.
Classic.
One person actually sent me a message and said, "Hi, Mark."
Oh,
and I was thinking, shall I tell him? I'm sure it comes up on WhatsApp anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like,
well, it should do. Yeah, but oh man, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, and I also remember once getting an email. This one was just madness because in an email it's written, and so I emailed someone, and they responded to my email and wrote, "Hi, Marvin." It's like, Marvin. So in fact, to this day, Corporal Comer from the podcast calls me Marvin.
Love
if
that.
I send him a message, will often call me Marvin.
Absolutely love that. Legend.
Yeah. Getting the wrong name that is hilarious. When that does happen though.
Well, thing is, with a name like Charlie, I have quite often had a lot of Misters. So it used to be Mr. Osborne, and now Mr. Chapel, latterly.
Okay.
And I do Mr. Chapel. Is that?
Oh, right.
Okay.
Of course.
Sure. It's because I have a boy's name.
But then, okay, because it's in writing, yeah. I was going to say, do you correct them?
In writing, in an email, it's Mr. Chapel. I was like, no. So now I state, I'm like, Mrs. Charlie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just put that in bold writing.
All the time.
Yeah. Kind regards, Mrs.
Charlie
in
Chapel.
Bold, Charlie Chapel.
Yeah.
There we go.
Standard.
Okay, on to the next one. Tripped and fallen in public.
Oh, like literally, where do I begin? Where do I begin? I will. I'll end with I'll tell the story of the most recent one, which I didn't actually tell you pre to us recording. But I actually broke my ankle in July this year.
You broke your ankle?
Oh, Mark, like literally, I've broken my ankle and I've broken my foot in the space of 6 weeks. I know. So I was on a school trip.
Oh God! Don't tell me it was like one of those things. Oh, like school trip as a teacher. I thought it was going with your children. It was because these things are when it's like sports day and then it's like the parents' race. Like my kids haven't started school yet, but when they get to that, there is absolutely no way I am going to take part in a parent race. That can only end badly, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. So I was on a school trip. I did a 7-hour coach from Cornwall to London, living my best life. Fun. Yeah. Got outside, so we were staying in a hostel with the children, and got outside the hostel, and I stood up on a bench, and I was like, I was giving it a completely unneeded message, unnecessary comment was, we can't put our suitcases in the cage, which, like, obviously when you arrive early, I was like, there's no space, stepped down, and as I stepped down, there was like a bit of a rut in the ground, so literally put my foot down, twisted, went over my ankle, just fell to the ground in front of that entire school trip.
That's what I'm laughing at, not the fact that you've hurt yourself. The fact that you've done this in front of
the whole trip.
And how old were these
17
kids?
17.
Oh God, if I was 17 and saw a teacher fall over and break her ankle, I would have bloody loved it.
Well, they were finding it absolutely hilarious. Anyway, so I sort of fell to the ground, but I kind of did it sort of subtly. I kind of dropped.
The classic. Ooh. Yeah, the classic, like you're falling and try and make it seem like it was like
and then it's
intended.
Like the ripple of Mrs. Chappell's on the floor. Why is Mrs. Chappell on the floor? And then it ripples and it's like, Mrs. Chappell's on the floor. Mrs. Chappell's on the floor. And like, the whole of them are like, what? Why is she on the floor? Why can't she stand up? Why won't she get up? And it was like, there's suddenly 35 eyes are on me. Like, Miss Chappell, why aren't you standing up? And I'm just like going, I can't.
I'm okay just down here, actually. I'm
absolutely cannot stand up right now. This ankle is completely destroyed. Yes.
Did you get did an ambulance come? What happened?
I got put in a taxi by the hostel, sent to Guy's in central London. Nice
hospital.
Lovely.
At least, yeah.
Lovely hospital. And then
always wanted to visit that place with a broken ankle.
Sure.
Yeah.
Broke it. Got fixed up and then got put on a train back to Bude. So I did
the trip then.
Did 7 hours on a coach. Didn't even step inside. Okay. Broke my ankle outside, and then got a train home. And just when I was getting over my broken ankle, I unfortunately broke my foot at the end of the summer holidays as well. So I left school with a broken ankle, and I returned after 6 weeks. And they were like, "Oh, is your ankle still bothering you?" I was like, "No, it's the other side. It's the foot this time."
Wowzers!
Yeah, so I snapped a bone in half in my foot as well. So.
The second time, what was that?
I literally slipped off a step. Like I just slipped. It was nothing.
Drunken?
Nothing. No, completely sober. No. First thing in the morning, was in my friend's house in Dublin, and just slipped off a step, snapped the bone in half. But I walked on it for 3 days, and then I flew home. So we flew back on the plane, and my foot went enormous. And I said to my husband, Mr. Clarification Charlie, I was like, this is really hurting now. Like I need to see someone. And I went to the hospital back here in Cornwall, and they looked at it and they were like, it was completely in half. They're like, I don't know how you've been walking on that for 3 days.
That is like, wow. Like you are Superwoman.
Well, not really.
Broken foot. I don't even care. Don't worry about it.
Went for a walk in the Wicklow Mountains of Dublin, didn't I?
So I thought you were going to say like I ran the London Marathon.
No, just went for a walk in the mountains. But I was trying to
run a marathon with a broken foot.
Yeah, you know when you're trying not to bring down the vibe of a holiday, and I was like, my foot really hurts, and my husband always rolls my eyes because
shut up.
I damage myself. I do hurt myself quite a lot. And he was just like, oh, here we go again. And I was like, oh, it's really hurting. And I was like hobbling along. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to sit for a little bit because my foot's hurting. And everyone's like, right, kind of rolling their eyes at me. And then when I sent them the picture, they were like...
They shut, yeah.
Wow, okay.
I must admit, I'm like that. If my wife or children say they feel sick, I'll be like, God, shut up.
Yeah. But when you feel sick... Get over
it. Oh, God, when I feel sick, that's a different thing. But yeah, I've had an awe as well, like when the children are sick, Mrs. R and I will be like I think like our little girl's sick. I'm like, she's fine. Like a minute later, she's throwing up all over the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Sure.
she might be sick. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I agree now. I concur.
Yeah. Well, that story kind of both of those blow mine out of the
Oh,
water.
sorry.
The one I have was, do you remember when we were at university, we went on a boat trip?
Yes.
Like on the River Thames
Yes, I
in
do.
London.
You fell down
it
the
was
stairs, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I remember.
Walking down, a beer in my hand, thinking I am so sophisticated, because we had to wear like it was all like, so we had to dress sort of smartly.
Nice.
So I was wearing like a suit. I actually remember, because I thought I was so cool then, I had like a Hugo Boss suit, and I was like, yeah, got my Hugo Boss suit, whatever. Like, got my tie, walking down the stairs. Oh, yep. Now, next thing I know, my head is bouncing off the stairs, and my beer is
Everywhere.
all over my Hugo Boss suit.
Loved it.
I don't actually know if I ever wore it again.
Flipping brilliant.
After that, but there you go. But no broken bones.
No,
the alcohol just gets you through it anyway, doesn't
quite.
it? So, and a great story to tell. So,
Well,
cracking night.
Yeah.
Cracking night. Okay, so the next one. I mean, I'd imagine the answer to this is yes. I was going to say because you're a woman, but I thought that would be really sexist. Cried during a film.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
See, I don't think I have, and I remember again. You must have been there. It might have even been in your room, because like first year at university, that's what people do in the UK. Like you go into someone's room, like, there are like 5 or 6 people there watching something, and we were watching a TV program, The Office. There was me, another boy, and there were like, I don't know, 5 girls, something like that. And it's sort of like quite an emotional ending, sort of like happy ending. They get to, in fact, not even emotional, it's a happy ending. Like the couple kind of get together, and the other boy in the room, I noticed, was crying, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing?
What a loser.
Well, yeah, we're supposed to be men. What is this? I don't think I have. I think in My Girl, if anyone's ever seen that, where
so sad.
Her friend gets stung by a bee and dies. That was a tough one. I had to really sort of stiff upper lip for that one. That was a difficult one, but I got through it. Okay,
Children's always tough for me. Like anything, like bad with children, or like bullying. If a child's getting bullied at school, like this, like I
just to tell you though, they are films.
I know. No, I know. I used to always cry at Free Willy as well whenever the whale got let free, which I know is good because he's going back out to the wild, but it was still really sad.
That is a cracking film if anyone's ever seen that. Free Willy, about a whale. Strange name to call a whale, isn't it? Don't know whoever made that film. You could have thought of a different name.
Free
the Willy. Free the Willy. Willies need to be free.
It was a good film. Yeah.
I think there was Free Willy 2 as well.
I think there was Free Willy 3 as well. There's
that's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, quite. That and Flipper, the same premise, but a dolphin instead of a killer whale.
Got ya.
So equally as emotional.
Okay. This next one, again, I'm sure you're going to say yes to it because I know you have a dog. Spoken to an animal as if it's a human.
Oh, like every day of my life.
See, this drives me crazy. Like, except like the only things I've ever said to like a dog, I think dogs are the ones people talk to the most.
Yeah.
The words I use are like sit, stop coming near me, don't lick me, go away. Like those are the things. Except those phrases, I don't think I have ever spoken to a dog.
I mean, it's just running commentary of a day for me, isn't it? Hello, Petros. Hello, gorgeous man. How are you today? How's your morning? Have you had a good day? Did you have a good walk today? How was it?
I see that. I mentioned, I think in the last podcast, actually, I was talking about taking dogs on trains. And people that take dogs on trains are the people that like to talk to their dogs, and they're like on the train having a chat with a dog. And I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I
love it.
But there we go. Okay, so this is a beauty. Walked into a glass door. So obviously you forget it's glass, and you walk in, and then you keep walking. It's like, oh shit. Ever done that one?
Kind of. It's my brother's absolutely full blown tried to run through one, trying to run into the pool. We saw like a swimming pool in a villa and was like running and then ran straight into it. But mine was like a little bit more embarrassing. Mine was a mirror.
Oh, I mean, the thing about the glass is like your brother, you don't realise it's glass, so you just walk in and you don't realise it's glass, and then you suddenly realise because you get smashed in the face. A mirror.
Oh, don't! It was. I think weirdly,
happen.
I think I might have been out with you. We were in central London and we were out for someone's birthday. And I remember like I'd had quite a few, and I was going up these stairs to go to the toilet. And
you're like, that person looks really similar to me.
It was like a big landing, and I didn't realise. I thought it was a doorway. It was a massive mirror. So I was walking up to it, going, "Oh, sorry, you go first." Oh, sorry.
Talking to your reflection in the mirror.
Talking to my reflection in the mirror.
That
like
is
thinking there was someone in my way, and I kept saying, "Oh, you go first." And then I realised after about the third time, yeah, it's a mirror, and I'm talking to myself.
Oh, that is something, isn't it?
Oh,
like, you imagine just seeing that. Do you imagine
beauty.
just looking at that, a person trying to get out of the way of her reflection?
What a mess.
Wowzers. Yeah, no, I've never done that with a mirror. I have walked into glass though. Faliraki 2003.
Classic.
Yeah.
Oh, where you got the BJ tattoo?
No, that wasn't. That was Chelmsford. That was the BJ tattoo. Oh. Yeah. 16, yeah. The Faliraki 2003 with the lads, obviously, first lads holiday.
Just finished school. Yeah.
Just finished school, yeah. And obviously we stayed in this like hotel room, and there were 5 of us and having a bit of a party, loads of girls there. Well,
always.
I say that. No girls interested in us, but I was thinking, right, I'm going to really impress these girls, and casually walking out to the balcony, did not realise the like window thing was shut, and boom, walked straight into that on the floor. You'll be surprised to find out that didn't have much luck with any of the women that were present that day.
So surprised.
Yeah, apparently they don't like people that can't distinguish glass and just air.
Do you know what they're going to be telling the story about when they were 18 and they were in Faliraki? And they're like, "Oh, do you remember that loser guy that walked into the door?"
Okay, so we are going to stop the episode there and continue that in the Rock and Roll English family membership area. So a quick look at some of the vocabulary. By the way, these intros and outros are always difficult to be recorded. I'm actually recording this at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, in case you're interested. But anyway, so we had the term to go along with at the beginning when I asked clarification, Charlie, how are you? And she said, "Oh, I'm great." I said, "Yep, I will go along with the lie as well." So to go along in this situation means to agree or to comply with something, to say, yeah, okay, let's do this, even though we know it's not true. Then we had into, when I said I was never into drinking games, meaning I was never into drinking games. Sorry, I just repeated it, didn't I? Meaning I was never interested in drinking games. To be into something, to be interested in something. And in fact, I said I used to steer clear of drinking games. So I used to avoid them. Okay, to steer clear of something, you avoid it. Then clarification, Charlie said, "Oh, you are such a renegade." So that is a lovely word. A renegade is a person that doesn't like the normal behaviour, goes against the grain, as we say. Okay, everyone's doing this, I'm going to do something different. That's me, rock and roll. Then we had when someone rolls their eyes. So clarification, Charlie said her foot was hurting and her husband rolled his eyes. So basically when you look up at the sky as if to say, "Oh, sure." Like to show that you are annoyed, to roll your eyes. And we were talking about films, I believe, My Girl. And I said that was a cracking film, or maybe Free Willy. Cracking meaning fantastic. And on the subject of My Girl, I said I needed a stiff upper lip. So a stiff upper lip is when you don't show any emotion. Generally, English men are supposed to have a stiff upper lip. Supposed to being the important word there. Then we were talking about the film Free Willy, and then clarification, Charlie mentioned the film Flipper, about a dolphin. She said it's the same premise but just a dolphin. So premise meaning the idea of a film especially. So it's the same idea as the other film, but it's a dolphin, not a whale. Then we were talking about falling over, and clarification, Charlie mentioned breaking a leg or whatever, ankle. And I said that blows mine out of the water. So that makes mine look very small, let's say, because I didn't break anything. And she said when she broke her ankle, she was hobbling. So when you hobble, it's when you have difficulty walking. You can also say to limp, but also to hobble. And then we were talking about if you have ever walked into glass, and she said her brother has absolutely full-blown run into glass. So full-blown meaning like completely, like fully running, let's say. And going back, actually, when she was talking about her broken ankle, she said, I was just getting over it, and then she broke her foot. So when you are getting over something, you are recovering from that thing. And at some point, I can't remember when, clarification, Charlie said she is a people person. So I think that one's quite obvious, but a great term to know. Okay, so there we have it, all of today's vocabulary. Remember, if you haven't listened already, go back and listen to the episode I made on Wednesday about my 40th birthday. In fact, the next time I will make a Monday podcast, I will be 40. Oh, shit. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening. I will talk to you soon. But in the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.